Good morning, everybody, and happy 2025. Happy New Year. Woo. Am I a bit late for the celebrations? 15 days late? What you gonna do? Hope everyone is well. God, shiny head today. Shiny. I'm gonna have to turn that light off. Nice, fresh coffee. Okay, seriously, I need to, can't do the shiny head.
HMS says happy new coffee time.
Be new coffee time. Well, it is a new coffee. Just made it. Yum. So, how is everyone? How's everyone's start of the year been? First 15 days. Should be able to gauge the whole year by now, right? Sorry, just reading the chat. Adam got drunk and he ordered a 4-bit computer from Japan.
Super chat!
Thank you. Thank you, Gerald42. Yay, my first super chat for the year. And thank you, BitLooney, for your voice again. That's not very bright. Why is my logo not
Hal
very
9000 says you need to get the other half to apply some non-reflective makeup to your skin.
You know, I could just turn the light off and I can sit in the dark. You can do that too. Whatever. Whatever. So, did everyone have a good holiday? Other than Adam getting drunk and ordering a 4-bit computer, did anyone do anything exciting? Go anywhere exciting or get anything exciting? It's like I can't hear anything. It's like crickets talking to the wind. It's weird. For those of you that have streamed before, you'll understand what I'm saying. Like it's.
Hal 9000 says wait, there was a holiday?
There was. Very short one. Very, very short. Wonderful. First regular flu. Then stomach flu. 3 weeks wasted. Oh no! Sorry, Johnny. Sorry to hear. Paid bills. Just another day. Yeah. Hey, Quindor. Johnny missed New Year's Eve party. Well, I was asleep by 10 o'clock, I think, or 10:30. So, you know, same thing. Same thing. Okay, let me go back and say hi to folks from the start. So, Alan, good morning. Adam, hello. Joe42, and again, thank you for your super chat. Antonio, hello. Sad Tuna is here, and his Reflow Master Pro arrived. Yay! Sad Tuna's a happy tuna. Mr. England, hello. 2025 Moo Time has arrived. Yombo Prime is about to eat at a restaurant. He's offering to get takeout for everyone here if they would like. Just put your orders in. Dutch Taurus, hello, good morning. Beata, hello. How is the rebuild of the Makerspace going? Is there a rebuild happening? Relocation, rebuild, re-something? I hope there is. Johnny, hi. Christian, hello. Embedded Hobbyist, hello. Dave Odessa, good evening. X-Micron, hi. And I think that is everyone. I've got my new doggy on New Year's Eve, that's currently snoozing on my bed. Okay, and Quindor, sorry. Intimate Tech. Hello. Johnny, you are full of bad news. Sick, weeks wasted, mum's dog passed away. Come on, gotta share some happy news. No more sad news. Okay, so I've got little bits and pieces of stuff to let you know about. I don't quite know where to start. I'll start with this little balked thing. Sad tune is the only sad thing. No. So, this is my P10 revision of my Tiny Watch, which, you know, it currently looks the same as my last revision. This is my... For those that aren't aware, I was working on a new watch case design. This is the P7 version. And this is a watch case that I never released.
Alan Madsen says, hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year with your family.
Thank you, Alan, if that was to me. I did. It was okay. Yeah. We don't celebrate Christmas, and New Year was as uneventful as whatever. Got a mini holiday last week, just 4 days away, or 3.5 days away, just somewhere local nearby, near the beach. That was nice, but I came back and needed a holiday afterwards to recover from the holiday. So yeah. So I never released this watch case design because it was quite difficult. Anyway. And for those who remember, on a stream a while ago, I redid my Tiny Watch design, and which is in here now, and it's a bigger board. Oops. Anyway, I need to pull this apart. This is a new design I'm working on. This is the one where the actual screws go into the back. Let me open it. Goes into the back of the PCB, and it's designed for the PCB to be stuck to the screen. Pull it apart. So I'm just dialing in the screen design, the case design at the moment. But as you can see, there's the board, and oops, if I take it out, all the buttons fall out. The actual screen itself has got surface mount nuts on it, and so that is what the case screws into. So the idea is the PCB is finally, it's stuck to the screen, becomes one piece, and then that's what holds the screen into the case, because it's all screwed together into the PCB. And it looks like it's going to work fine. I need to just refine the edges of the PCB. This is just a single board prototype. I've refined the edges of the PCB, just the curves. And so I'm ready to go into production of that, and it works okay, it works great. And the case is actually easier to print, and the buttons are nicer, and the new buttons on this board are much nicer than the previous ones. They've got a proper, not going to be able to hear it, but there's a proper click on them with a proper distance for actuation. So yeah, so that's coming along. I'm hoping to have, because I'm out of stock of Tiny Watch, I'm hoping to have this new revision, which will be my final revision. I say that all the time, but my final revision of this watch, where I'll probably release it with and without the case for those that want to, because before I only sold it with the case because the watch itself wasn't designed to be stuck together. I don't know. We'll see. Snow. Hey, Christian. No snow here. You have to change the mode, Alan, of the logo if you want to change the colour, because it's playing a GIF right now. Anyway, so there's that. I just pulled it apart. So that'll be back in stock soon, I hope. Those out the way. I have released, it's on my website, but a new screen shield. It's a 240 by 240, an ST7789 shield, and there's also a ambient light sensor on the back. Should just go to the website. Be easier. Unexpected maker. Shop. Here. It's a 1.3 inch screen with an ambient light sensor on the back, which you can use to drive the backlight. And there's an example project in GitHub that shows how to do that. So I've got these in stock. And of course, yesterday I made my first production board of, I'm just going to post this in here. Not that anyone cares, everyone's just talking about snow. That's okay. So now I've got two screens. I've got the smaller one, the 180 by, oh, what's displays? Here we go. The 160 by 80, which is designed like a plug-in one, and then I've got the 1.3 inch. So that's a 0.96 inch screen. That's a 1.3 inch screen. Anyway, back to here. I built my first four, because there's four on a panel, of my Omni Controller boards. Oh. Here's one with the screw terminal screwed on. And this has got the 9-axis on here.
Alan Madsen says, is the light sensor on the back of the print?
The light sensor on the back of the print, The light sensor's on the back of the board, yes. It's on the back. Fresh new boards, yeah, new things for 2025. Yeah, it didn't make any sense putting the light sensor on the front, honestly, because there's no real place to put it. And aesthetically, it just would have looked whatever, and it would have been a double-sided board, which would have increased the cost of the boards a lot. So it's on the back, but it's on the edge. You can see. So it's it gets light seep from the side. But if it's behind and there's other things shining on it, you can find out what that is and normalize it. Look, it's not everyone mounts this in a box. Who knows? But I haven't seen anyone selling screens with the light sensor on it, and I think it's quite useful to be able to adjust the backlight based on ambient light. So that's what I did. But yeah, I didn't want to make it a double-sided board because yes, anyone that tells you that double-sided boards are just easy, it's just a matter of flipping it and putting parts on the other side, they've never done any level of manufacturing before. So yeah, not good. So this board is the version that I did with a 9-axis on here. So I did a version that just had a magnetometer on it, but then for the final production ones, I put a 6-axis BMI 270 on there as well. So like my tiny watch, there's a full 9 axes on here now to be able to do tilt compensation for the magnetometer to be able to get compass reading, which is proving to be interesting and difficult and painful as always. I've got it working, kind of, but there are a few issues. Some really obvious ones are that, it uses magnetics and it's totally susceptible to anything magnetic around it, and it has to be calibrated, right? Hey Johan, how you doing? I think it's called gravity. What's gravity? I think mobile floors have continued with simply double-sided boards. No, it's not a gravity thing. It's just having to stencil both sides, right? You got to stencil one side, pick and place it, reflow it. Then you got to go with another stencil and stencil the other side and pick and place it. But to support it, what you're pick and placing is different because you've got parts on there. So like in my case, when you've got the board sitting on something inside the pick and place machine to hold it firm, that has to be something custom, because it can't, if it hits the parts and the parts are taller than the PCB, then it won't sit properly, right? So you've got to stuff around with all of that, and then you've got to reflow it, obviously, the other side, and you can't test it until both sides are done, and then if there's a problem, you can't rework it, not on a hot plate, or not even easily with hot air when you've got parts on both sides, right? So doing double-sided boards is the added difficulty of doing a double-sided board is like only 10% of that difficulty is pick and placing the other side. The rest of it comes down to all the other issues that are involved with, you know, if you have to rework it, or you can't necessarily test it in stages depending on what it is. So yeah, it's just, yeah, you never do go double-sided unless you really have to. And then when you really have to, something like this, right, you end up with boards that if there's a problem, you can't fix it. And so you get wastage. So with my bling boards, because that is such a problematic double-sided board, right, that I can't assemble the LEDs first. They have to go second. And so I can't test them until all the parts are on the back. And once the parts are on the back, I can't rework the LEDs on the front. And on top of that, because there's a MEMS device on here, the microphone, the board can't be cleaned. Which means if I have to do any rework on it, it can't be cleaned afterwards ultrasonically. So, yeah, there's major disadvantages to doing double-sided boards. So, highly don't recommend it. Lots of people using it with components on the back. They have to use standoffs and all kinds of other downsides. Yeah, and potentially shorting it when people are using it. So anyway, back to this. So I have a version of code that is using, that you can calibrate, which is problematic, and then you have to calibrate the magnetometer, and every magnetometer is different, so everyone needs custom calibration, same calibration code, but has to be calibrated. Hey, Hababao, one day I'm gonna pronounce your name right. One day though, I don't know when. So someone pinged me on Discord, and anyway, I'll show you. Let's have a look. So if I plug this in, you'll see serial will come up. Hopefully, maybe serial. Let me just reset it. Okay, so down the bottom here, it's it loads up. It's got my hard iron and my soft iron settings, which are being stored in NVS. As you can see, loaded settings from NVS. My magnetic declination is set to 11.9, which is supposed to be Melbourne, Australia, which it's from this website, which is a terrible bloody website, where you can enter your city and your country and it tells you what your answer is. I don't necessarily agree that it's correct. I don't know, but because it doesn't seem to be. But anyway, I've actually got where is it? Settings. I've put a link to the website and the source code. All this will be up online, the source code, once I get it working. But anyway, it comes through, it loads all that stuff. It's found the BMI 270, it's found the magnetometer, and it's looking for the distance sensor, which is not plugged in at the moment. And then it does all its Wi-Fi stuff, connects everything. And right now it's showing me a heading, a pitch. If I, let's move this out of the way. Okay, so you can see it's not sitting flat at the moment. So it's got a roll on it, but I've got pitch and roll, right, forward pitch, back pitch, and it's kind of doing compensation, but it's not overly accurate. So if I rotate, like it thinks that my heading, it thinks that this is 0 degrees, this angle here, which it's not. It should be here, but it really depends on where it is when you start it up, right? And when you move it around, what magnetic field is around it. So I'm just going to reset it. It doesn't matter where you start it. You see, it thinks it's 43. It'll only update on the screen if it detects a change, right? So it's still thinking that it's here. So even after a reset, so if I get something, I'll use this. So it thinks this is pretty much 0, right? Get it closer. If it thinks that's 0 there, then if I turn it to this way, right, that should be 90, but it's not, right? Oh, I've got it on an angle. Hang on. I need to put this in a position where it's out of the way. Okay, if that's 0 there, then $90, it's close, but it's not quite right. That's 180. Let's get it to 180. Again, it's close, but of course, because of this, the USB, I'm holding it here, and which is changing the pitch, which is changing the heading a bit. If I go that way, that should be 270, which is pretty close. So the way it works is, I'm using the IO0 button on here. And what did I miss? Hard to calculate the angle of the dangle when you... maybe I should turn it upside down. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not going to help. As you can see. Kind of. Anyway, so I've got IO0 set as an input. So if I click IO0, it puts it into calibration mode. It clears the soft and hard iron, so I'm going to push it now, and it's in calibration mode. And to calibrate it, you do this, figure of 8 thing, right? And you can see it's outputting numbers. So you basically have to find the extremes of every angle of the magnetometer, right? I'm just literally twisting it around. Unfortunately, because where I'm twisting it, there's magnetics around the place as well, right? So the closer to my computer, the worse it is. But the idea is you want those 3 numbers, right, as big as possible. They're the X, Y, Z. And the bigger the number they are, and the closer they are to each other, the better. So they're not changing anymore. So if I push IO0 again, it saves them. And now we're back to heading mode. And as you can see, it's now got a very different... Oh, it's not that different. 0... It's actually more accurate now that I've calibrated it here. I calibrated this at home. So that's 90. at 0, so that looks pretty good. And that's 180, it's 182, right? So I've got some filtering on it. Is my audio clipping, by the way? So the point is, this is going to be sitting on top of the car, and the car itself, there are magnets in the motors, and there's all sorts of stuff, right? So it needs to be calibrated on the device.
Alan Madsen says sound good.
Okay, good. Visually, it's clipping sometimes for me. So this is working. So I've got some filtering on here. Let me just go to the code. And I've just got a basic low pass filter. Okay, that's calibrating. Wait. Interesting. I've got, oh right, God, I'm an idiot. I was looking at the wrong function. So in my get magnetic, right, which gives me my X, Y, and Z, I'm doing a low pass filter here. Can everyone see that? Can you read the text? Let me see if I can make it bigger. It gets so big that I can't even read it myself. So I'm using a low pass filter here for the heading. Obviously I can make it, so you can see it moves around, like it's just sitting there, right? But it's jumping between 79 and 80. Story, but they might have something to do with the subject. What? Do image quality here, or image quality on the screen? Or me, my face. And I'm doing the same with my pitch and roll to try to get them stable. Because they jump around a lot. But anyway, this is working. The question is, look, I don't know how accurate it is. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do per degree accuracy, right? Face cam, sorry, not nice. That's fine. It's okay, Alan. I'll remember that. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, get something to turn 1 degree, right? And, when I tell it to rotate 45 degrees, it, who knows if it's going to be exactly 45 degrees. It's not a running value on an average. A running average, no. It's just filtered. The problem with doing a running average is at what point am I sampling the average, right? And every time it changes, the average needs time to catch up. So, hey Liam, how you doing? Yeah, look, it's performing okay from the magnetometer, like it is, but magnetometers are just ugly, right? I mean, they're just really painful to work with, what they are, because of how they work, just with magnetics. And in an environment like this, I've got so much stuff that's going to interfere with it. And I would assume everywhere will. But I'll be interested to see what happens when I put it on the thing. So I've got that working well enough to test with. Unfortunately, I never fixed my movement code after I started playing with my inverse kinematics versions. I've got so many versions of code here, controller code. I've got my Kinematics class, which isn't working. I've got my Motor Controller V4 stuff, which is a hybrid of, it's forward kinematics, not inverse, but it's a very butchered version of stuff, and then my original controller code. And what I really want is something that's a combination of all of them. Ideally, I want inverse kinematics, but I can't get it working. Well, I need to attempt it again. I need to start from scratch, basically. So I haven't done that yet. Hey, Simple Electronics, Happy New Year. I hope you're well. But I'd like to get this thing going now that I've got a final controller board. So my plan with the boards, I'm going to release some of these on my store. And I'm also going to release the design files. And of course, my source code, once I get something. What I'll probably do with the source is I'll get the forward kinematic stuff in there again, only the forward kinematic stuff. I mean, I already got all that working, right? I had it, you know, be able to move forward, back, left, right, rotate, move on an angle. All that stuff was going, and it was all using the mental blank, using the encoders, right? So it was moving accurate distances and rotating accurate amounts based on the encoders on the motors, but it was forward kinematics, right? So you'd say, I want you to, you know, move forward 1 meter, or just move forward at a certain speed and rotate and whatever. It was about giving it a direction and a distance, not about the inverse. Okay. Some of you might remember the discussion I had about the difference in what I wanted to do with this controller. Do you want me to go over that again? Explain what it is I was trying to do with the inverse kinematics? Or not? I'm happy to explain it again for those that want. I may as well. Okay, Johan remembers. Okay, quickly in a nutshell, using inverse kinematics, right? So, forward kinematics, let's go to my arm. Here's my arm. Forward kinematics is rotate this 90 degrees, yeah? Rotate this 45 degrees, okay? That's called forward kinematics. You're telling a joint to rotate, and where you end up with your hand is where you end up with your hand, right? So if I want to put my hand to touch, this is my microphone and my camera, right? If I wanted to get my hand to touch that, then I'd have to say, okay, I want my shoulder to come up 45 degrees, and then I want my arm to rotate 90 degrees, right? See that? Inverse kinematics is, I want this to be over here, and I need to translate this however many degrees at this distance, right? So when I do that, it works out what my rotation motion is. So it's like I grab my hand and I pull my hand towards the thing, yeah? And what happens instead, what happens here is calculated on the fly, right? It's not a calculation like I need this to rotate 90 and this 45 and 90. It's, as I'm moving, it's recalculating to get to a certain position, right? He just found a reason to, I wish. I wish. All my muscles I got atrophy, muscle atrophy. Anyway, so that's the difference. So in the case of a car, the mechanism wheels on a car, what inverse kinematics would allow me to do is move independently of rotating, which is what I want to be able to do. So normally you'd say, you know, if I want to go forward a meter and I want to be on a rotated 90 degrees, with forward kinematics you say, okay, move forward a meter and rotate 90 while you're doing it. And you time them to be the same time. But what happens is, as you're turning, the car rotates, right? Because you're forward, your movement is tied to your rotation. So you can't go forward and rotate on the spot like this, yeah? And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to move independently of rotation, right? So I want to be able to rotate and move like this, but at the same time, without making the car veer off because I'm rotating. So they're independent. So what you're doing is you're calculating the wheels. You're not using the encoders. You're calculating the wheels on the fly based on the orientation of the car and somehow the distance traveled. Hey Shipu, how you doing? So I ordered a well, it's not a lot of CPU stuff actually. The calculator, well, it's just I can't get the maths going. It's a maths problem, right? It's all there's a bit of there's a lot of matricey stuff and a bit of calculus and a bit of other things, and just every time I try to get it going, it's just not going. But I needed to have one thing that was imperative. Sorry, I'm looking for something that I want to show you all. And I can't find it. Okay, I'll look for it in a second. But one of the things that's imperative to know with inverse kinematics is you must know the body orientation, real time. So you can't calculate the orientation from the wheels like you can with forward kinematics with the encoders. So with the encoders, if I tell it rotate 90 degrees, I can get it to rotate pretty exactly 90 degrees by counting the encoder steps for the wheels, right? To turn 90 degrees, I know which direction I need to rotate each wheel, and I can rotate speed based on how fast I rotate the wheels. And by counting the encoder pips, I can tell exactly when I'm 90, right? But I can't do that if I'm also moving, because my encoder steps are also changing because I'm moving, not just rotating. So I can't count steps to do it with inverse kinematics. So I need to know exactly where my rotation is all the time on the body, at least on the body. And the wheels are fixed. The wheels don't turn on the car like a normal car, right? Normal front wheels on a car turn, or if it's an all-wheel steering, then all four will turn. These are fixed. So I don't have to worry about those. I just need to worry about the body rotation. So I couldn't even solve forward kinematics until I had a working magnetometer. Sorry, inverse kinematics. Now that I've got a working magnetometer, the jury's out whether it's accurate enough. But now that I have a compass heading on there, so I know what my rotation is all the time, I should be able to get a better version of my inverse kinematics working, hopefully, because I had no feedback mechanism before, which I do now. But I don't have any distance mechanism. Now, distance mechanism, I can still use the encoders now because I can use my heading rotation from the compass. I'll call it a compass, so I don't have to say magnetometer. I can use the heading for my compass to know what my wheel rotation is, which allows me to deduct that. Right? Anyway, the bottom line is, I need to find the thing I'm looking for. Here we go, I found it. Okay, so I ordered one of the mouse sensors. You know, one of the old, not the optical, but the camera version of the old mouse sensors. So, you know what I'm talking about? Someone mentioned it, a stack of people mentioned it weeks and weeks, a year ago, last year, on my stream, that I should stick one of those optical things on there. So I ordered one from AliExpress. I ordered a board with the sensor on it and everything I needed, including the little plastic optical thing for it. And when I got it, they sent me this. Which I can't even get out. They glad wrapped it and it's stuck to the bag. They sent me that. That is not a board. I got my money back. Their listing, apparently their listing is misleading because they were never shipping a board. They were only shipping a chip. with a plastic sensor thing that goes over it, but I got no electronics for it. I'm gonna have to design something anyway. But all of the pictures on their listing were of the sensor on a PCB, like everywhere throughout. But apparently they were never selling that. They were only selling the chip. I got my money back. It wasn't a lot. It was like $17. No, yeah, 17 Australian dollars. I don't know, like $11 US, whatever. But it took like 5 weeks to get here. So I waited 5 weeks for this thing, with the plan that I would be able to get it and connect it to the controller board, have it sit under the car, so I could track, hopefully, maybe, you know, be able to detect movement on the carpet and to track calculate distance traveled, stuff like that. But turns out I need to make a board, or I need to order something else. So I kind of got that and got a bit annoyed and chucked it in the corner and haven't looked at it since. But that would be another way. So if I had something like that and the magnetometer was working accurately enough, I would be able to track distance traveled and rotation, and maybe even, I don't know if I could track any type of rotation with that thing, probably not. And that would give me the ability to use that with the encoders to really accurately gauge distance and stuff. A time of flight sensor won't help me, because that's only going to give me distance as soon as if I'm looking at something, as soon as I rotate and what I was looking at is on an angle, then that changes, right? I've got that crap LiDAR that I got working on a stream. Does everyone remember this? Lots of streams ago. But this is not good enough. Core has this sensor. Thanks, Liam. Hang on. Let me see what core I've got. Core electronics. I've actually got stuff in I had stuff in my shopping cart. Optical. Oh, okay, that's an optical one though. So we're talking about this here. Well, in front of it, to infinity, 80 millimeters. Right, so that's too far. 80 millimeters. I need something that's closer, like a mouse. Yeah, 80 millimeters. That's what the lens bit is. Right, but then you need a custom lens. I mean, I could look something like that. Sure. Hey, Michael. There are a lot of options. I've got enough I/O. Oh, actually, what have I got? 1, 2. I've only got 4 I/O available. So 1, 3, 4. I'd have to lock the CS low to be always connected. I mean, I could probably get this going, something like this. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. But I want to see if I want to see what I can do with the heading, getting the heading on this, right? And I guess ultimately a better time of flight sensor, a better LiDAR would also help. But, you know, I want to see how far I can take it just with this board as it is. So, I guess I should swap out the swap the board out, and see if I can get it moving again. What do we reckon? Now, one thing I did on these new ones is I stuck the Nano S3 with an external antenna rather than the onboard antenna like I originally had. I figure an external antenna would be more useful for people for longer range, or if it's inside a chassis, like inside like an enclosure or something on it. So you can mount the antenna externally. Let's unplug that. Let's okay. What's with the light with my camera? Lighting, lens, all of it. Okay. So I'm going to swap these boards over, which won't be hard, but the code is not, or apart from the fact the code isn't working at all. This is, yeah, there's got a, you're talking about for the 6-axis? There's, it's got 9-axis on there, so it's got a BMI 270 and a magnetometer. So 9 axes in total. Okay, got to get these in the right order. So the original board, which is the one I'm disconnecting now, had the motor drivers in the step-dir. Remember, I had to bodge wire them into a step-dir position. And this is, oh, I just realised I did that. I need to do it under the elastic band, preferably, just to hold everything still. This by default is not in the step-dir, it's in the PWM mode, so my code is not going to be compatible anyway. I need to change that. Ground and okay, so that's a new board. And you've got to be careful with the antenna, just hanging off the edge now. I'm going to have to change a whole bunch of code first, obviously. There's no point powering this up yet, as in the wheels, because it's not going to go. Getting RK on the board, but you know, it would be another good way of getting full pose inside. UWB, what's UWB, Liam? UWB. Ultra wideband. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think that's a pretty, for something little like this, you're not going to get that much accuracy out of it, are you? I mean, for bigger things that move around in real world space, as in on the roads or in a big factory complex, maybe. But for something that is designed to move around, you know, as little as a meter in distance and stuff, I'm not sure you'll be able to do. I know some of the new BLE proposals for is it 5.5 or 5.6 that they're doing like sub like 10 centimeter or 5 centimeter position accuracy, which is insane, like for a Bluetooth, a BLE device. But okay, so I should put it up on here. I've got no power connected to it anyway. Okay. I don't even know which part of this code is going to work and which is not going to work. So I'm going to just destroy it all now and see if I can get something moving. Will be good. But see, the first... Oh, God. I don't even remember. Right, that was my hard-coded rotation percentages. We'll deal with that later. You can try to shield the sensor. Try to shield. You mean... Hey, Kevin. Try to shield the magnetometer, you mean? I think the yeah, I don't know. Let's just... Hey, Ryan. Let's just get this thing moving first. And I'm trying to remember what any of this code does. I haven't looked at it in a while. But like this code here, my update code is... Is this where it's doing the... step dir? So I need to stop doing step dir. This is going to be... I have to record a pod today, tomorrow. Been in the club. What are we talking about? Welcome to the club. Been in the club. Okay, I have no idea what they're talking about. Okay, I need to... I feel like I should back all this up. Oh my god. I'm going to... Oh, right. The illness club. Okay. Okay, so that's... Okay, that's both of them off. And... So in PWM mode, I can't go negative PWM. Oh, how do I move it in PWM mode? I need to get the datasheet back up. Oh, no. Do I have 874 data sheet? Right, for expensive ones, yes. So interestingly, you can't get hang on. There are not a lot of people who are making 9 axes all in one anymore, unless you're talking about really super expensive. Okay, so if I'm in PR... Yeah, that's what I think it is. I think, is it 0? That's what I'm just checking here. So if I'm in PWM mode, zero, 0. Right, high, low, low, high. Right, okay, no, I'm just, right, and break is low. Okay, so, wait, I really want that on the screen. I need to be able to get back to that. So if I want to go forward, 1 is high, 2 is low. So if I want to go forward, A is high, B is 0. And if I want to go backwards, A is 0 and B. Okay, so that would be, I'll delete all the rest of that stuff after, and both at 0 is coast. And both high is break. Okay, so if I want to do a stop, I need them to both be high. We'll try that. I don't know if that's going to work. Okay. The problem is my code doesn't use this anymore. I have to go find some old code. So this is my original project. So, which I backed up, right? So this is before I started working on the Kinematics stuff. Yeah, I know, but if I put it on coast, then it doesn't stop. If it slows down, I'll change that. Right, I can't remember if I've got deceleration. So this was my original code, which obviously doesn't have any IMU stuff or anything else in it. Just hold on. I want to remember what I did here, because I'm going to have to copy some of this over to get this working. Just bear with me a moment. I need V2. I don't want that. So I don't have them both on the same screen at the moment. So just easier to. I don't know which one of these I can use. Camera connector on the old division. It was, but technically it's still the same. I just exposed the I/O instead. There's not enough I/O. Like it needed the CS to be locked low all the time. But the point of using, technically you could still connect that camera to here. But instead I just made it broken out I/O for people that want to connect other things. But Liam, yeah, it was 400 ARG you can, but they're not fast enough anyway. They're not good enough cameras, in my opinion. Okay, I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen if I try to compile this. Let's find out. Yeah. Yeah, forgot about those. Let me just go back to. Do this one.
Cian, Chad has disconnected.
Oh, and it's back. How would I rate my programming skills? 0? A lot of days I feel like 0. Oops, missed an error. Yeah. That no good. My coding skills on stream is very different to my coding skills off stream. The added pressure of trying to remember your code while people are watching you. It can't be 0. I would be -1. Oh. Oh, did that compile? Yeah, they're not good for robotics. Look, they're pretty cool. They're just, yeah, they're not fast enough, and the picture quality isn't great on them. That's why I've got the Raspberry Pi there, and I've got this UART here. Is to be able to connect to the Pi to talk via serial to get commands back and forwards and stuff. Okay, let's see if I can get this thing even remotely moving. I don't know if this is on or off. Okay. So I can't even see what you can see. What can you see? Okay. So if I turn this on, we've got power. See the blue light LED came on? Yay! It's got blue, not pink, because I don't have enough pinks to put on the pick and place machine. If I reset it, I don't know if they're going to move or not. I guess we'll find out. Just hold on 1 second. I just need to reply to someone on Discord. If it's... No, I'm not going to reply now. I can't reply now. Okay. I'm going to... I have to clear this. I'm just going to tell it to not show the heading stuff for now. Right, I've actually got it not doing anything. What is move distance? Distance and speed. What? Controller. Oh. Okay. That should be... My controller should be V2. And move. Speed, angle, okay, I've got my syntax all wrong. That should be pointing to V2. See, this is why I don't like doing this on stream. I just want to do a move. I can't remember what my move to point, face point. Interesting. Okay. I need to I just want to set translation. Let's tell it to just do a set rotate. Let's just do that. Controller. My syntax, my API changed from my original controller to my V2 controller to my Kinematics controller. And so, and of course the functionality changed across them all because what they were doing was different and how they were being controlled was different. I just want to see if I can get the wheels turning. Okay. That's not doing, what's that doing? Setting angular velocity 90. Apply motor speeds. As I said, I don't remember how a lot of this works because I'm going back to my old code. Okay, set target speed. Okay, where are my motors being told to update? Update motors. This controller update. Okay. I'm not tracking position. Okay, I'm gonna have to rethink a lot of this. I can see it's in here. It's printing duty 510, new duty 505. But it's not moving the motors. Not moving the motors. Okay, what's if we don't do that? I don't think I have a move. I might have to go back to my original, not my V2, but my V1. Wow. What does that do? Yeah. Controller move 2 point. What? I did say at the start that I broke all my movement code, remember? But I wonder if I've configured something wrong on the board to have it not work in PWM mode now. I just need to get it to move to prove that my PWM mode settings on the board is correct. So that should just tell it to move. I'll disable that for now. Tracking equals false. If I go to update. update. So I'm not tracking position, and I'm not in here. Did I change the I/O? Let me just check I haven't changed the I/O. I don't think I did. Let me just check the settings. Okay, so front, if I can see all this on the screen at the same time. Okay, so I don't care which one's which, but we've got, hang on, mode number, so PWM, encoder, enable. Oh, right, hang on. I don't think, I've got enable connected now, which I didn't have going before. So that was something that I fixed on the new boards. So enable, which is end sleep, which is 34, IO 34. So I'm passing -1. So the actual drivers aren't enabled now. But I'm going to have to do that. Right now that's just happening on one. It's happening on all of them, which is stupid. Shouldn't be. That should set them on. So maybe that is the problem. Hopefully that is the problem, and that I just wasn't enabling the drivers. So they were hard coded before on the original board because I hadn't hooked them up properly, so they were forced high all the time. Please work. Just want to see, just no, what's going on? Come on. Hey Peter, how you doing? Late without a note. That's okay. We're definitely okay. Every 10 milliseconds, controller update. Oh, hang on. It could be stopping because it's not moving. I'm just going to comment this out for now. I just want to get something moving to make sure that the board is working in PWM mode. So I've got three different movement classes here, and I've got one motor class that has got stuff for all of them in it, and it's a mess. It needs to all be put back into something simple again, and I will do that not on stream. I just want to see the wheels turning. Okay, well, at least I'm seeing this now. Calculated speed. Reached target. Okay. Calculated speed. So it's stuck in here. Because this is using the pulse. That's using my old accelerate decelerate code. Oh my god. Okay, so I wonder if it wasn't working with the other controller because I didn't have the enable going. I would guess that is why. Oh, hang on. V2. Damn it. 34. Yeah. I should have focused on this and not on the magnetometer yesterday. I didn't check the rest of the pins. So motor controller 1, 14, 13, 12, and 11. Okay, well at least one motor should work. Motor 1, speed. Whoa. That's not a good speed. That's not a good speed. What have I done? Probably because I converted them from ints to floats at some point. Yeah, float, angular velocity. Number 1, speed target. Yeah. Which is a float. Speed. F. Move. And why is, hang on, why is That's showing 500. Should be 255. Sorry about this, folks. Feel free to go to sleep, those of you that are still awake. I shouldn't even be hacking this. I should just start from scratch on it, but see, duty's 510. That's not correct. Not correct. Right. Could be correct based on my attenuation. Oh, you gonna go to bed? I haven't set enabled in digital read 34. Let's see if the motor's on. No, it's printing mesh boxes for all of my dip ICs. What? Matchboxes, dip ICs. I'm not sure I understand. I'm gonna have to go back to a brand new clean project, I think, as in motor controller project. Okay, it's enabled. It did say 1. I'm sure I am in that mode, PWM mode. Yep. I am in PWM mode. Why is this not turning? Let's get rid of these and do analog. I've got a lot of them to change. There was a reason I wasn't using analog right. I think it didn't like something about one of my pin choices, maybe. B. Do pulses. Number on the short side and so they don't take up much space. Matchboxes have become very expensive, so I have designed one myself and 3D print them. Interesting, okay. I'm not using that, so that should be fine. I guess it makes sense if you have a whole lot of dip ICs, which I don't. So I mean, this could be a PCB problem, could be a configuration problem. Maybe I put a bad part down. Oh. Okay. Yay. Okay. So it was using the LCD attach stuff. I don't know what I'd done, but if I use PWM, that worked. So wow, okay. They're now turning. Yay. Of course, set rotation isn't going to do anything. Yay. Make sure that I can actually I don't have a move here, do I? No, okay. So all of my V2 stuff is using pulse counting, but I've not got pulse counting enabled. So when I set it to rotate 90, they're all rotating, they're all going, and it never finishes rotating. And I've got no speed control on it. It's just going full speed. Okay, but well, just to confirm that, hang on, if I go back to here, they were going forward then. I'm pretty sure they're going forward. Let me just see if this... That's what... Because they're going to keep going forward. Okay. These should go backwards, hopefully now. And if these go backwards, then I know that they're working and I just have to go and fix the code. Because right now they're just going to go full blast in either direction. Okay, and they're going backwards because I told it negative 90. Okay, good. So, the controller board works. Oh my gosh. That was excruciating. The controller board works. My code is just an absolute mess of all sorts of stuff. I need to take 3 different controller code, motor controllers, and squish them into one and remove all of the gunk from the motor class for each wheel and get my PWM levels back to same values. But the controller's working, and it's working in PWM mode, so not step-dir, which is easier to work with. PWM is easier to work with. But on the back of the boards, there is these little jumpers, solder jumpers, where you can cut them and put them back into step-dir mode. On shrink flex, I have got one. I've got a couple of brother printers, and but I don't know if it can print on. I don't know what shrink flex is. A herd of monkeys programming technique. A silly Xeon programming technique. Okay. So my plan is to get a forward kinematics library going to start with. And rather than trying to get everything into one project, I'll finish and publish a forward kinematic. Just basics, right? Forward kinematic library that can make the car go, forward, backwards, any direction, and rotate and whatever, and get that published and online. Get the design files just cleaned up and put online. I have no idea what I'm going to sell these for. I haven't done the costing on them yet. But I'll get that done, and I'll get a few of them in my store for those that want to grab one, if they want to grab one. Yeah, I'm not expecting to sell many or any of them. It was really for my own stuff, but it'd be cool if anyone grabs one and wants to work on the library, work on the code, make it better. That'd be much appreciated. Very much appreciated. But I will get this. I don't know how long it's going to take me to do. Obviously, it's slow burn, low priority stuff. Hay wagon loads, but my low priority stuff often turns into full day or multi-day sprints because of ADHD. Yay. Yeah. But at least I've validated that it works, and I've checked all of the boards, so all of the boards work, although I've not plugged each one into motors yet. But in terms of their other functionality, like all of the 9 axes work on all of the boards, and Wi-Fi works, and everything else works on them, so they're all tested. But yeah, wow, that was a little annoying and frustrating. So I also have to build some form of something for all this to fit in, and then I need to somehow work out how I'm going to get this integrated. So that's my good one. So that's my Raspberry Pi with an SSD hat on it, with a 256 gig SSD. So, not that I'm necessarily going to use that on this one, but I might, because it's much faster booting and whatever else. Anyway, and a camera, and I made a mount. It's a click-in, just a mount for now, so I can do it one-handed. So I can click the camera on to a thing, and then this mount can be, it's just a bracket that can be put anywhere. So I need to work out how I'm going to mount this, and then how I'm also going to intercept some pins for the UART to get them talking, because that's got to go on here as well. And then I also need, oh, there's a bull as well. A what? A bull. Not a robot arm controller board. No, it's a controller board for Mechanim car. So it's not stepper, it's motors for for mechanism wheels. And it could technically work with a 3-wheel setup or a 4-wheel setup, but yeah. So it's a motor driver board as opposed to a stepper. It's not. You can't control steppers with it. Although I guess technically in step-dir mode, could you control a stepper with it instead? I don't know if these chips will control a stepper. I wouldn't think so. But possibly. I don't know. I got that fixed ages ago, but I've since then broken all the code 1,000 times over trying to get inverse kinematics going on the wheels. And as I've proven on the stream today, which you just missed the fun enjoyment of, that I busted all the code, all the movement code so badly that I had to just hack the crap out of it to get it working again. But yeah, I got the acceleration deceleration stuff fixed for forward kinematics ages ago. And then I got it re-implemented for pulse counting. And then, yeah, broke everything with inverse kinematics. So anyway, plenty to do on the project still. But I needed a working controller board. Yeah. I think that's enough motor controller stuff today. I'm going to turn that's off. Good. Okay, I can leave that plugged in. That's fine. What's plus EE? Johnny's been playing games again. Retirement must be tough, Johnny. Okay, unless anyone's got anything else they want to chat about, for now, I might call this stream to a close. First stream of 2025. Sorry, I just realised that wasn't plugged in properly. I'm plugging my screen back in my tiny watch. Okay, haven't played for like 6 months. Oh really? Why not? What have you been doing instead of playing? So I'll make sure I just haven't broken my screen of my watch. That'd suck. No, I didn't. Good. Good, good. Oh, maybe I did. What? Why isn't my touch working? Oh, excellent. Have I broken the screen? Bloody hell. Oh, I'll fix it. All good. Sorry, distracted. Shouldn't have done that. That's what happened when I pulled my watch apart before to show you. I have 267 videos up. Holy moly. Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you all for watching. Sorry about that boring coding bit, but at least we've proven that the controller board works. Hope you all have a fantastic week, and yeah, I'll catch you all next week. Bye everyone, take care. Sorry, I've forgotten how to do this. It's been a while. Bye.